Okay. Hi.
Hi. I don't see the recording. I don't see that it's. Hi. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on another Intentional Living Live, where we talk about things that we can do to live our life more on purpose. I am Marian Haran, a health and wellness expert and independent consultant with Arbonne International, and I am joined with my beautiful friend, Tina Fenton.
Hi, I am Tina. I am also an independent consultant with Arbonne, a yoga therapist, and navigating this world of intentional living. And tonight we are talking about emotions.
I want to cry already.
I know, right? I know. Every time we bring it up or we text each other, it's like emotions. Wow.
Well, the reason why I feel like I want to cry is because this has been such a journey for me over the past 3 years. So, a little background, I grew up in a very loving home, but emotions were never something that was ever talked about. They were not something that was encouraged. How are you feeling was never a question that I think came up. And so what I've learned is really how to, I've learned that I put up a wall. And because it was something that was never talked about or taught, I would just stuff my emotions down and I would cut off from my body in even feeling them. I never knew that I was doing this until later when I started doing more work individually to identify what some of my feelings were. You know, if you've ever been walking around and felt very flat, like that was a very real existence for me for so long. And that's one reason why I'm so happy that we're talking about this today, Tina. So thank you so much for.
I mean, we've been talking about it a lot because I myself am struggling with emotions. I've always been encouraged to have my emotions and express my feelings, but when things get challenging, I feel maybe I'm being overzealous in saying this, but as women, strong women, we have to buck up and we can't have emotion and we don't want to be angry and we don't want to be sad, especially as light workers. You know, love and light, love and light. And we can't say we're angry and that someone pissed us off, you know? So that's what I've been struggling with lately is if it's an emotion that's a little bit on the negative side, I'm afraid to express it to people.
No, and it's completely accurate because we have this whole range of emotions that we can feel from 1 minute to the next. Emotions really are just in a way our body helps communicate to us and protect us from I mean, you know the definition. I want to hear the definition of emotions. So let's get into it.
Okay, so this is a definition I'm going to read. There was a study done in 1972 for them to really start to break down emotions. And an emotion is a complex psychological state that involves three distinct components: a subjective experience, a physiological response, and a behavioral or expressive response. So that's where our emotions come in. And they're our primary way of interacting with the world. So,
the behavior completely, it's like instinctual.
Right. We make choices in our life based on our emotions. And when something happens, whether it's a positive or a negative, an emotional response comes up and the body remembers that. And especially if we bury it down. So that event could trigger those emotions again: happiness, fear, anger, frustration. So, when we bury it, we're trying to forget about it happening.
Yeah, not accepting it or acknowledging it.
But when our emotions play a huge role in our health, whether we're going to be healthy or we're going to have dis-ease in the body. So, and I think for those of us that live like in the Northeast, winters get tough. And right there is like the cold, dark winters. The minute the sun comes out and it's like above 50, everybody's emotions are happy and joyous and light, So, I mean, right there.
I think that's a lot of the vitamin D deficiencies that are happening.
Absolutely. But The
But
emotion,
also, yes, the sunshine.
right, the sunshine, but that's an event, and everybody's response is that emotion of happiness from it and joy. So,
And
when it's
also, I think it's wonderful in springtime, we have this regrowing too.
right,
This
right.
season of regrowing and rebuilding.
So I think, there's studies being done now that our emotions are connected to our organs and to areas of the body. So they don't know necessarily where the emotions are in the areas of the body, but from studies done, they can track what organs are affected by certain emotions. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So, like I said, the body remembers those emotional sensations and events that cause these emotions. Lungs are connected to grief. So, anyone with
So if I have a cough that is a recurrent cough, then I might be holding on to a lot of grief
right.
from a past experience in my body.
The chronic lung problems. Kidneys are connected to fear and anxiety.
Oh my
Heart
gosh. Yeah.
is connected to joy, but of course,
Wait, what's connected to joy?
heart.
Our
Our
heart.
heart is connected to joy. Our
Well,
liver.
would heart problems then be like the opposite of joy?
It could be, when you have your heart broken and sadness, so it's the opposite. Again, this is a holistic view.
Yes.
You go to a medical doctor, they're going to think we're crazy here. Our liver is connected to anger and old anger patterns. And our gastrointestinal is connected to how we digest the world and the boundaries we create in this world. So our boundaries around our emotions and our relationships, huge, huge. And then you've got that whole physical component, because we can't necessarily feel, oh, I got anger in my liver today.
I mean, I have tightness in my shoulders like all the time.
Right. That's the physical component as well. We can bottle emotions in our hips, in our jaw. Some people who have migraines or stress headaches, like up here, that could be emotions bottled up. Lower back, our hips, so these predominant areas that some people will find discomfort in their stomach area, which is the gastrointestinal, which could be related to boundaries and how they're seeing the world. So, connecting to the sensations of our body when we have an emotion is huge. One thing I heard in one podcast I listened to is be a sieve to your emotions instead of Velcro.
Yeah, let them flow through you.
Yes, you're not going to deny them. You're going to cry. You're going to be angry. You're going to be super joyous. Let them flow through you, but don't let them stick around too long. And how Elrod, says, give yourself that time to feel the emotion, whether it's a minute, 90 seconds,
5
minutes, what do you need? But set that boundary, feel that emotion, and then start to let it go.
Yeah.
Because there's no room for those emotions in our body. We are not the emotion.
Well, and it's also, if we hold it in our body, then we're constantly going to hold on to it and harbor that. And that's where the negativity and that's where the distress comes from. If we're constantly holding on to these emotions in our body, like we're never going to feel good in our body.
Right. And emotions, if we break it down and don't get so connected. So people get confused. We have feelings, and we have emotions, and the mind is trying to dictate all of this. Mind wants to win over the body. An emotion is from an event, and it's the response from the event. The feelings are what we are creating based on the situation. Feelings are all made up. Like our feelings are, emotions are the response. What's the big eyes? What do you want to share?
My daughter was sitting here.
Okay.
And I was trying not to talk to her. I'm so sorry.
An emotion to the response, a response emotion to the event.
I was getting really anxious actually.
So there you go. Perfect example. Just let it, you feel it, but see how I could see it. I totally saw it.
I know. That's crazy.
That is so wild right there. You are not anxious.
I am not
feeling the anxiety.
I was feeling anxious.
So, there's ways when we shift the mindset. So here we go into intentional living, coming into the present body and connecting with how the body is feeling. Where is the sensation? Where is the emotion? And it's hard. It's not like, okay, I'm going to sit in my body now and feel my emotion.
Oh, it takes lots of practice.
It's a lot of practice. And I know I've done it with one of my mentors, and she coaches us through where the emotions are sitting in our body, and then working on releasing them, accepting them, feeling them. They are an emotion. They are not me. And then letting them go.
Yeah.
Some ways we can release emotions: physical activity, any movement can get some of those emotions out.
If I could just mention one thing about that, I find doing a body scan meditation is really powerful for localizing that tension in your body. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to interject that.
No, that's great, because there's body scans on YouTube and on Spotify, and some of the apps are, Calm app has body scans. So
I'll post a link to one in the show notes.
Great, excellent. And I know Yoga Nidra also will usually go through the body scan as well, and you can see where you're holding on emotion. I do it all the time in my classes. So physical activity can help you. Any kind of physical body work, massage, Reiki, gem healing, yoga, all of, positional therapy, emotion coding, all of those can help you release emotions.
I know when I ride my Peloton to some really moody music, that's a really wonderful release of emotion too.
And sometimes we're not going to know. I know when I teach a yoga class, or sometimes even myself, people will just start crying.
Yeah. Just
cry. There's an emotion you've released. You don't even know. It could be emotion from 20 years ago.
You don't even need to know. You don't need to know.
That's our problem. That's when the mind kicks in, because we get all feelings about it and are like, I need to know what this is. Let it go. The body is like releasing it. It's communicating with you. It's time for that emotion to go. Feel it and then be gone.
Release it.
You are not the emotion. You are experiencing the emotion. What else can we add to this list of healthy outlets before I talk about being in the present moment a little bit?
Well, one thing that I've really become more aware of recently is this emotional freedom technique, which is also known as tapping.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it goes along those same lines. Like, we're holding a lot of emotions in our body. And when we tap on certain meridian points, it's very similar to acupuncture. When we touch on these meridian points, we kind of like allow energy to flow to it, bring it attention so it can then be released, because we're holding it, we tap to release it, releasing blockages. I could go through a couple with you, like the outside of the hands, like this block right under our pinky.
Right.
This is like a chopping block. So this is kind of like the starter for, if you were to do a cycle, you start here. Do you want to do one really quick?
I don't know. How long are they?
Oh, it's really easy. So what you're going to do is just repeat after me. Okay. Take a deep breath. Okay. Even though I'm feeling this tension in my body, so repeat after me.
I'm feeling this tension in my body.
I accept those feelings.
I accept those feelings.
And I give my body permission to relax.
And I give my body permission to relax.
Even though there's a lot going on in my life.
Even though there's a lot going on in my life.
And there is a lot of uncertainty.
And there's a lot of uncertainty.
I acknowledge all of these feelings.
I acknowledge all of these feelings.
Even though I'm holding on to this anxiety in my body.
Even though I'm holding on to this anxiety in my body.
I accept myself, and I accept myself and how I feel.
I accept myself and how I feel.
And that's it. And so that's the beginning of what you would do, a whole routine. So the routine kind of goes through a couple different cycles. The points are top of your head, outside of your eye. It's all on the bone. You're like tapping on the bone underneath your eye, right under your nose, right under your lips, your collarbone, and then under your bra strap.
Interesting.
Some people do the top of the head too.
Right.
Like I have a whole routine I could go through that I got from my sister is a yogi, and she had done some studying in EFT. So I kind of got like a whole thing from her. So if anyone would like more information, I'd be more than happy to share it with you.
Yeah,
But
I
I find
have to maybe film it and put that in like a separate.
yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know. I'm not an expert by any means. It's just something that I found that has been beneficial in my life because, like I said before, I never really acknowledged my feelings before. Like, in order for me to release them or even feel them, I find that I have to be very grounded in myself, in my body. I have to be in a safe place. Normally, it's when I'm alone because, it's hard to feel safe when you have so many other energies around you, like, being a mom, putting on that hat where we have to buck up and be like the woman we need to be. So a grounding practice is something that really has helped me to connect with emotions. And I mean, Sheena, you do so much with your yoga therapy. I love so many of your yoga practices. They've helped me tremendously.
The yoga therapy, there's actually specific poses to release things. It's phenomenal. Like
and like we hold so much in our hips. In yoga, we do a lot of our hips and our jaws are like so intertwined. So if you're ever like holding on to clenching your jaw, you need to release some emotions. That's a cue for you.
All the time, even when I'm teaching. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Clench. Yes. So, and in the end, at any point in the day, you can check in with the body.
Yeah.
See if there's emotions bottled up, because we go into autopilot and stuff just keeps all day getting thrown at us. And we just kind of, nope, I can't think about that. I can't think of that. I can't worry about that right now.
Push that aside till later.
Right. But really, it's in there. So, just sitting in the present moment, like I said before, sitting in the physical body, breathing and checking in with the body, maybe going through a body scan, like Marianne said, and just experiencing the emotion, feeling the emotion. I found a mantra: I am experiencing the emotion. I am not the emotion. So you can take that word out and be like, I am experiencing the anger. I am not the anger.
Yeah.
I'm experiencing the sadness. I am not the sadness. Because now we're separating it. And that's our problem as humans.
We want to hold it.
Emotions consume us, and that's what we think we become. So when we separate it, it really can help a lot. It can give clarity, and it can help you release it quicker.
Yeah.
You need to feel it, though. We need
acknowledgement. Yeah, you got to acknowledge those emotions.
We need to scream it out. Go outside and scream in the middle of the road. Whatever you need to do.
I'm anxious!
So that's what I have on emotions tonight. This is stuff I've been working on. So it's not easy work, but it's powerful for the body to heal.
Yeah.
A lot of us, I'm going to just quickly go here. So many are like, I want to lose weight. And I know it's a big thing. And all these crash diets, and all, you've got to work on the inside. And I'm not talking about, we didn't even talk about like supporting the organs by nutrition, by gut health, from sleeping, from hydration. Like we have to work on the inside, and we can't hold on to emotions if you want to lose weight. Like all these things are interconnected. Think about it.
They really are.
So you can do all the diets in the world, but if you're holding on to your emotions and harboring anger from 30 years ago, you're not going to be able to balance the inside of your body to be able to lose the weight.
Yeah.
I mean, they've proven studies that stress is linked to holding on to weight.
Yeah.
Because of the metabolism, because of the thyroid. So,
and the cortisol levels.
Right, and the cortisol levels. So, I mean, it's there. The science is there. It's up to us.
But Tina, no one wants to acknowledge these feelings because that might hurt, right? That might hurt. I might cry. But you know what? There's a lot of therapy in having a really good cry. Like, I love them. I love it.
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, I think that's where I'm going to leave my end is, what are you holding on to that you're not releasing, or you're not acknowledging, or emotions that you're not feeling, or you're feeling them so much that they've consumed your life and made you who you are.
Yeah.
It's time to start becoming present in the body and begin to let some of this stuff go.
Yeah.
And that's my intentional living nugget for this evening.
I love it. Love it. I want to eat up more of them.
There we go. So I thank you all for taking the time to listen. I invite you to stop, breathe, become present in your body, and just see what's going on inside of there and connect with it a little bit.
Yeah. Love you. Love it.
Yay. All right. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Love.